2.5, possibly even 3 horsepower. It's been verified third party, so you know it's going to be accurate. We've also got some vests. Now, the thing about the vests is if we see you walking around the show while you're wearing one of our FasTrac safety vests, we've got people planted all over the silver lot. If they see you walking around with one of our vests on, not in your hand, not in your pocket, not in a Quikrete yellow bag where you put everything else, on your actual person, you could win one of our Visa gift cards. We've been giving away the last 2 days, and we've got a whole lot more to give away. We just need to see you out on the silver lot showing the FasTrac safety vest. All right, so we are about 3.5 minutes away now from the next interview, so please gather around. It's going to be a good one, regardless of whether you're a contractor, business owner. Doesn't matter how big, how small, how long you've been doing business. If you want to make 2026 your most profitable year yet, I promise you and I guarantee you that every one of these interviews has a morsel or a nugget that you can take back home with you, that you can apply in your own business, in your own process, that's going to help you scale your workflow, become more efficient on the job, and put more dollars in your pocket in 2026. Oh, again, just under 3 minutes to go, so gather around. We got t-shirts. Let them know what size you are, and we'd be happy to hook you up.
Here we go. All right, welcome back. Here we are, 2026 World of Concrete. So Max, tell me a little bit about yourself.
To service the petrochemical industry. There was a gap in the market for a contractor to come in and do things a little bit differently. Matthew chapter 7, Jesus teaches us the difference between the wise builder and the foolish builder, and it all has to do with the foundation, right? We're going to build a foundation on the rock or on the sand.
Right.
And looking at the issues that the refineries are having with the rotating equipment, a lot of the reliability issues that they have with vibration, alignment, all of that stems back to the foundation. People aren't looking at the concrete, people aren't paying at foundations and making sure that the foundation of their equipment It's going to match the harmonic frequency of the equipment and provide a foundation that's going to make their equipment run more reliable and for longer.
Awesome, man. So are you Dig just focusing? You're at this time. You're focusing more downstream, midstream. It's all geographical. Right? Just U.S. Just Texas.
So in 2007, we got started kind of on a hope and a dream, and very blessed with the opportunities that we've been given. We've got a crew working in Waverly, New York right now. This time next month, we'll be in Madera, California, working on a project. So it's spread out. Our client base is growing, and we've been really fortunate with the opportunities we've been given. But that specialty and that niche that we've fallen into with the rotating equipment foundations has really kind of helped us branch out. But we offer, full civil services, helical pile, underground utilities, flat work, structural steel. But again, that focus and that thing that we specialize in is those large rotating equipment foundations. So
also through that process, are you guys involved in the design phase, or you just get involved when it goes out for IFC or bidding? How can Dig help an end user, other contractors, big GCs, anyone in your arena? How can you guys really come in? What aspect? I mean, when is the ideal time for someone to call Definitive?
So we've been on the front end of projects, grassroots, starting it from concept to completion. We can handle the design phase. We do inspections on existing foundations, but a lot of time we get called after something's already gone wrong. A contractor's gone out and gotten into the realm of a mass concrete pour, not understanding the dynamics that go into a mass concrete pour, temperature control, the issues that you can get from your concrete getting too hot, not having the right mix design. Even to a completed project where they mount the equipment, pour the epoxy grout, and issues arise from having a contractor not understanding what they're doing with that material and using it in the wrong application or just applying it incorrectly.
Gotcha. So we see industry evolving, right? And so we had this discussion this morning, Scott Bolentini and I did with Bill Spitzer and Associates, and talking about really the innovation and what we're seeing, if it's from this LNG or midstream, gas compression, downstream. Everyone's kind of questioning. Crude prices are down. There's just a lot of variables. But what tools are you guys utilizing today to kind of help you evolve and innovate into the process?
So teaming up with companies like FasTrac, for example, and utilizing the different mix designs, right? And being able to provide a different service in a very fast-paced, rapid environment helps us out. A lot of owners are looking to push off foundation repairs because they've got a short turnaround window. Everything is mechanically driven, right, and nobody wants concrete to be the critical path of a project. But when we can show up to the table and say, hey, your equipment's not going to run correctly, your anchor bolts aren't going to stay in place, this machine's going to continue to vibrate, the issue's not with the machine, it's with the foundation that it's on. We can come in and have a whole new foundation designed and put in place in a 15-day window, pour the concrete, and have your foundation ready for equipment within 36 hours. We can eliminate the cure time, be ready for epoxy grout that fast. We can beat your mechanical window. And trying to get the owners of these facilities to understand that if they're looking for equipment reliability to drive their profits, to be able to have less operating expenses, less downtime, so they can continue to run at a high rate, they've got to pay attention to what's holding everything together, and that's the foundation.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's one thing also that was brought up this morning was the process and the process going from fell work to AFE to mobilizing the site to get the job done in your defined scope and then completion, right? That whole process may take months.
Right.
But that end date that we have to get back online, that end user has to get back online, it never shifts. It's not a
construction window just gets small.
Exactly. And so that's one of the things I always hear from everyone is 28-day cure time before you do epoxy grout. So yeah, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. You know, and we like to, honestly, partner with people like yourself and other contractors just to, because you guys are seem like, the innovation and being so open-minded that it doesn't seem like where everyone else gets scared and run.
That we can't do it or there's not enough time for it, that's when I get excited. It's like, yeah, we can. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it. There's a right product out there. We can build it a little bit differently. Let's look at the tools that we're using, the method of construction. There's a way to do it.
Right.
And thinking outside the box and getting innovative with the materials that you're using, the additives, even the tooling for the demolition phase, coming in with a diamond product, a wire saw rather than a breaker in a unit. How fast can we get this done safely with a smaller workforce?
Right.
How can we make it safer for our guys to go out and do it faster and better?
Right. So today, I mean, you guys also coming out of Beaumont, Texas. You have some team members that have traveled with you. How's the show? How's the conference been going for so far? Is it?
World of Concrete's great. I mean, it's amazing. This is the third time that I've come. The first time that I came in a little bit arrogant, thinking I'm not going to get a whole lot out of these classes. The wealth of knowledge that the presenters here have and everything that they're bringing to the table is just, it's amazing. This is a world-class experience, and getting to see all the new demos on the equipment and meet other people in the industry and get to share experiences is great. There's a lot to take away from this.
Awesome, man. So I'm going to talk real quick on that previous project that you and we first worked on, right? Mm-hmm. This is when we first met, and kind of walk us through maybe some of the understanding of how you guys got brought into that project, right? We don't have to get into all the behind the scenes of hows and whys, right? But
we'll stay out of the weeds on that.
Yeah, we'll stay out of the weeds on that, right? But I think ultimately is trying to figure out. Yeah, here's some pictures from another foundation, but trying to understand how that came about and landed in y'all's hands there.
So this was one of those projects where it was a new build, new construction, and there were issues with this project immediately. It was a situation where a contractor came in doing something that is a more specialized service, a mass concrete pour on a big pump foundation, rotating equipment, and then a skid design that didn't really match the civil engineering of it. So the mechanical engineering, the civil engineering didn't really match up. And then we had an epoxy grout pour that was not installed correctly.
Sure.
Right? So it caused issues with the foundation. 3 days after they poured the epoxy grout, this foundation had essentially split itself in half. It was the tensile forces from the epoxy grout, going down into the concrete that made the concrete separate from itself. That bond from the epoxy grout to the concrete is stronger than the concrete to concrete. So it split it, and it pulled the concrete across the whole width of this foundation and the entire length. And we were called to come in and provide a solution for it. They wanted us to come in and just kind of provide some expertise, give them some options for a path forward. And we ended up coming in with the wire saw and cutting the top 4 foot of this foundation out. And the window that they had before they were supposed to start commissioning this new facility was coming up really quickly, right? So we had to remove the pump, fabricate a new pump base, demo the foundation out, provide a redesigned foundation that had the correct reinforcement, a correct mix design for the concrete. Their spec was 3,000 psi concrete, which far below industry standard for the application that was being a big pump base. And we used the FasTrac concrete, right? So we were able to cut that schedule down by 14 to 21 days, right? We poured the concrete. You guys came out with the volumetric mixers. We were able to pour the foundation. We had the form strip by the end of that shift, and we had the core drills on it the next day, coring the new anchor pockets. So ended up beating their schedule, had the equipment put back on, and basically finished ahead of their commissioning window.
Yeah, I think the one thing that stood out to me on that project is that I noticed, right? Because we're supporting a lot of different contractors. Mm-hmm. But what really stood out to me with you and your team is the maturity meters, right? The detail and the focus. You know, stepping up to the next size bar to make sure that it is going to be, you know, sound and exactly like you talked about, right?
Right.
The resonance and frequency. We had the right anchor bolts, and really making sure that promise to the customer. So that was really reassuring for myself and the team to see that level of detail, because I think a lot of times we get into these meetings and everyone just, you know, promises the world, right? But it always seems like that guy who's always promising isn't the guy who's in the field.
Right.
He's never the one that's showing up, right? And he's just worried about, hey man, guys got the job.
Yep.
But no, that really went pretty, that went far with us. So it definitely was.
It's all about showing up to do the job that you're on because you want the next project, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to just win one job, go out there and hit your home run.
It's a marathon, man.
It is.
It is a marathon. It's not a copy and paste on everything, right? But you learn lessons and you take those nuggets and you try to build off them on each little job, right?
Yep.
And there's always lessons learned. It could be the perfect job, but there's still something you're going to pick up, right?
Oh, we learned a lot on that project. I mean, I've got a whole book of what not to do's, right? You've got to keep track of things that don't go right. You learn more about jobs and different situations when something doesn't go right. And we were able to learn a lot from issues on that project that happened when we weren't involved, right? So we learned a whole lot about, what happened, what the root cause of this issue was. And taking that learning experience and being able to apply that into our processes going forward is like, hey, look, here's an issue we saw on a project. This is why it happened. We're smarter because of that, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good growing experience and getting to learn from mistakes that happen on a project. But being able to go in and do what we said we were going to do on that project, it helped out tremendously for us as a company as well, because there were so many eyes on that project, even at a corporate level from that owner,
Right.
that it helped open new doors and opportunities to come up. They're calling us as an expert to come in and do these complex foundations.
Sure.
Especially during their maintenance and turnaround windows.
So, what is the standard process for you guys, right? In regards of getting, for people to reach out to you. Is it going to your website, going through social media avenues, or what?
So we've got a Facebook page, LinkedIn. Our website is www.team-dig.com.
Okay.
And you can contact us through there, and we're 24/7. So if somebody sends an inquiry through there, or they reach out to you guys, or the team at Bill Spitzer and Associates, we're available, and we work all over the U.S.
Awesome, man. Well, we just appreciate your time and the partnership that we've built so far. And, I think if there's any type of innovation or anything you guys see, and there's a need, right? That's for us as trying to find that pain point of how can we be more efficient? What can we do to bring back into the market, where if it's in, the oil and gas and energy sector, power, right? A lot of power plants being built, data centers, things like that. But if there's anything that ever comes up, just keep us in mind to keep building the partnership.
Well, and you guys provide the solutions for it. I just need to have the idea and tell you what I need, and you can tailor make that mix design for us.
Sounds good, man. Well, hey, I appreciate your time, Max, and enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, thanks Scott.
Man.